Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to the class on history. In the previous video, I had explained to you, or we had begun the next chapter, India's freedom struggle, second phase. We had gone through Home Rule movement, Lucknow session, and the entry of Mahatma Gandhi into the freedom movement. Today, we are going to learn about the three important incidents that made Gandhiji to enter into the Indian national movement. So there are three different incidents that happened. There are three different incidents that happened. The first one happened in the 1917, the place called Bihar, called Champaran. So 1917 in the place called Champaran in Bihar. And what happened then? The problem was with the peasants on indigo plantations. The peasants on indigo plantations. What happened to these peasants? These peasants were forced to sell indigo at low prices fixed by the European planters. This means the peasants who were working in indigo plantations, what happened to them? They were forced, or they had to sell at very low prices. These peasants had to sell indigo at very low prices fixed by the European planters. So Gandhiji went to them, began the protest, and Gandhiji forced the government to increase the price. So that is the first incident in which Gandhiji became very successful. So 1917, Champaran in Bihar, the problem was related to the peasants working on indigo plantations. And what was the real problem? These peasants were forced to sell at very low prices, or the prices fixed by the European planters. So Gandhiji went there, began the protest. At last, the government was forced to increase the price. So that's the first incident. The second incident happened in 1918 in Ahmedabad, and it was against the mill owners. The problem was created by the mill owners. Gandhiji went there, Gandhiji began the protest, and the mill owners had to raise the wages of the workers. That's the second incident that happened in 1918 in Ahmedabad. And third one that happened in 1918, the place called in Gujarat. What happened there? Here, the government or the Gandhiji went there, and Gandhiji forced the government to suspend collecting the taxes because there was failure of the crops. So Gandhiji went to the place called Gujarat, and he forced the government to suspend or to stop collecting the taxes. The reason was that because of failure of the crops. So with these three incidents, what happened in Bihar with the peasants of indigo plantations, second, related to the mill owners, third one, the Kheda protest in Gujarat. With these three incidents, Gandhiji became very popular among the people. So he organized various activities like peaceful demonstrations, boycotting the courts, boycotting educational institutions, peaceful violence of the law, non-payment of taxes, picketing of the shops selling foreign goods. So these are the various activities initiated by Gandhiji. So with these three incidents, Gandhiji had become very popular among the people. So he began various activities. I hope you are clear with the entry of Gandhiji into the Indian national movement. Now, what the next topic that you are going to learn is about a reform introduced by the British government. That is known as Montague-Chelmsford reforms. Montague-Chelmsford reforms or Government of India Act of 1990. Government of India Act or Montague-Chelmsford reforms. So there are two different features of this particular act. The first one, the Central Legislative Council. Central Legislative Council. The Central Legislative Council will be bicameral. Will be bicameral. Which means there will be two houses. Central Legislative Council will be bicameral, which means the Central Legislative Council will have two different houses. The first one, Imperial Legislative Assembly, and second one, Council of State. Imperial Legislative Assembly and Council of States, and majority of members of these houses will be elected members. So the members of the Imperial Legislative Assembly and the Council of States will be elected by the people. That's the first feature of this Government of India Act of 1919. The Central Legislative Council will have two houses, will be bicameral. Will have two houses. The first one, Imperial Legislative Assembly. Second, the Council of State. And second one is known as the system of. They introduced the system of diarchy. Which means dual government. System of diarchy or dual government. And now the subjects related to the states were divided into two. First one is reserved subjects. That's the first one, reserved subjects. Second one is the transferred subjects. Reserved subjects and transferred subjects. And the reserved subjects include finance, police, and all the important topics. And those subjects will be under the control of governor and his council. And what are the transferred subjects like education, public health, and all these topics or subjects will be under the control of the ministers of the legislature. So with this particular division of the subjects, the actual power was with the British government, because all the important subjects were under the control of the governor and his council, which means it was with the British government. Other subjects like education, public health were given to the ministers of a legislator. So by dividing these subjects, the actual power was with the British government. And next thing that what happened was that in 1990 they brought about another act called the Rowlatt Act. Rowlatt Act in 1990. And what is this particular act? The British government could arrest anyone without a warrant and imprison a person without a trial. This means arrest without warrant, imprison without trial. 1919, the act called the Rowlatt Act. Government could arrest anyone without a warrant and imprison a person without a trial. So how did the Indians react to this particular act? Indians organized various demonstrations against this particular act, and this 1919 April 6th was observed as a national humiliation day because the British government could arrest anyone without a warrant and imprison anyone without a trial. So 1919 April 6th was observed as National Humiliation Day. So these are the things that I wanted to teach you today. So learn the three incidents that made Gandhiji very popular. Next one, the Monday Chelmsford Reforms or Government of India Act 1919. Two different features of this particular act. The last part that you have learned, the Rowlatt Act of 1919, which made the British government to arrest anyone without a warrant and to imprison someone without a trial. So, can you go through the video once again and understand the explanation properly? Thank you.